Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to another trading session. Well, it is Tuesday, the second day of the week. And yeah, it's kind of a shiny day, a sunny day. I mean, kind of a sunny day here in Portugal. Not that cold. I heard that in New York, for example, it's very cold right now, but not here in Portugal. So today is a bank holiday on the United States, so we might probably just end up tape reading this and not taking any trades. But yeah, that's part of the job as well. So there is nothing that we can lose if we tape read it only, right? So yeah, guys, let's take back to yesterday's price action just to make a recap of yesterday's. Yeah, yesterday was not. I'm not proud of yesterday's job, honestly. I was able to recoup the losses that I took here, but honestly, I was not proud of the job that I did. I only was proud of the trade that I took here, that I was eventually anticipating all session, all morning. And yeah, tried once, tried twice, tried the third time, and then I started to realize that probably I'm wrong, but eventually I wasn't. And finally I was able to catch my short. I was able to catch my short and yeah, mitigate all those losses that I took here, and then I entered with one more micro here and end up closing all the position here right at the bottom. So, and then I just closed the session, closed the trading day for me, and then the market just ripped higher in a move towards the generated relative equal highs during the New York AM session, and eventually previous, I guess it was Thursday's high, I mean. So yeah, then we stopped right before the end of the session, the New York PM session. Price kind of stopped, kind of ranged here a little bit, and then inside London it came a little bit lower. And now what am I expecting from price action, right? Well, honestly, I'm expecting a drive higher on price. We are trading inside this shaded area, which is a new week opening gap, an old one, not the actual new week opening gap from this week's trading sessions, but this is an old one. And yeah, price rejected the 75%. It came lower, below the 50%, but it's now respecting the 25%. So the last quadrant is being respected here. At 8:30 open, we touched this bullish fair value gap, the 1 hour fair value gap, as you can see here. And it seems like price wants to go a little bit higher. The only problem here is that we didn't took any side of we didn't take any side of sell side liquidity here. And yeah, I had a range here, as you can see. Let me just put the range once again here. There we go. So we are still in premium. Taking into account the previous daily range, we are still inside of a premium, so we can eventually stretch this a little bit further, but still in a premium. I would consider only this low here because I don't believe we will go lower here. But yeah, I really would like to see price coming a little bit lower, eventually taking pre-market lows, and then go to the upside and not doing what it's doing now. But it's a bank holiday, so price might be kind of weird today. So that's why I told you guys that I might end up not taking any trades and just tape reading the session, and that's it. I will only take something if there will be something very, very clean and very clear about the direction of the market. But honestly, I'm inclined for something more bullish, for a continuation bullish. But honestly, I would like to see a drive a little bit lower. Let's get into the regular trading hours just to see how far we are from the opening range gap as well. So opening range gap, we came a little bit lower. We opened a little bit lower, but there we go. There's still some regular trading hour session by sell side liquidity here. Let me just mark it. And there we go. So it has some confluence with these pre-market lows as well. And yeah, I don't think we will go that far here. So I would only stick with these ones. So in fact, I would like to see something like this: market trade lower, taking out regular trading hour session, sell side liquidity, pre-market lows, and then eventually do something like this towards these highs here that seem too clean for me as well. But it can happen that price will just move towards these highs like this. But I don't know. Let's see. It's a bank holiday, so price might get a little bit weird and might not give us what we really want. So let's see and wait for eventually the macro, 915 macro, which is always my preferred macro. 950 to 1010. And yeah, price is still inside this small range here. You can notice that the size of these candles is pretty small. It's a two-handle candle, so it's compared to yesterday's price action where price was giving us, let me just check here the size of these candles. Yeah, 6-handle candles, so it's a third of, or at least half of the size of yesterday's candles. So we are moving to the upside here. We left regular trading hour session intact for now. Pre-market lows as well. But let's see. Let's see if there is some willingness for price to come a little bit lower first. We already took pre-market highs. So it might happen that we will now go lower, or then we will go higher once again. So we have previous day high here. I believe on ES we already took it. Yeah, I'm not sure, but when I was in the first minutes before streaming. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with Topstep. Um, but Topstep, yeah, it's behaving in a strange way. This platform, honestly, and I'm reading that on their Discord as well. So it's not just me. The daily candle here is missing. On NQ is also missing. So I believe there's a lot of data missing here. So that's why I'm not sure about the previous day high, but I believe we already took it on ES, but not on NQ. So I'll mark this one as the previous day high. It's the 4 o'clock high. And yeah, it is. So as you can see, there's no momentum still. Price is still ranging inside this. It just took Asia highs. Not Asia highs, I'm sorry, pre-market highs. Damn. And it's now just hanging somewhere around this range. So looking at NQ, let me take a look at NQ just to see what NQ is doing. Yeah, it's similar job. And let me take a look at YM as well. Yeah, it seems like YM might be the strongest today. Yeah, it seems like it. Seems like YM is the strongest. So let's see. I'm still expecting a run lower first before price is heading to the upside. So let's see if we will have that. I'm still waiting for the first presented fair value gap. This 930 fair value gap does not act as a first one. NQ is placed lower here, a little bit lower, but it did not reach for these lows here. Yeah, let's see. It will be a calm session, and honestly, I'm eventually just tape reading the session. We'll just take anything if something very clear happens. Otherwise, I will just tape read it because this might be a low probability session since it's a bank holiday on the United States. The bond market it's closed, but the stock market it's still open. So we might have some volatility and some movements here, but I'm not expecting that honestly. So in these types of days, you better manage your expectations to the lowest, and eventually prepare yourself for not taking any trades. That's what's the most reasonable thing you can do. Whenever you have days like this, the better thing that you have to do is just manage your expectations and put them on its lowest, and do not expect anything from the market. But if at some point the market delivers what you thought about, then you might have the possibility to engage with it, but make sure to not force anything. So, just like I did yesterday, honestly. Yesterday, I guess I kind of forced my narrative into the market. In the end, I was right, and in the end, I was expecting what really happened. But yeah, I kind of forced it, and should haven't shouldn't have forced it. Honestly, I kind of made me enter in a drawdown, but fortunately I was able to recoup the drawdown. But in the end, I kind of overtraded, and most of all, I forced something that shouldn't have been forced. So, but yeah, we must take accountability of our actions, and that's what I'm doing here, taking accountability. That might be one of the topics that I would like to discuss with you guys, accountability, because I see a lot of people not taking accountability for their actions, especially when it comes to trading. So if you have any topics or anything that you would like to discuss on these trading sessions, yeah, just type it in the chat. On the red platform, I just made a Q&A. So you can eventually type it in, suggest a topic that you would like to discuss with me. You can, yeah, just oh, Miguel, just talk about accountability, or talk about I don't know, gold, or talk about um, being profitable, or talk about not being profitable, or I don't know. There's a million of topics that we can talk here. So if you have any, just shoot them into the and write it down in the chat, and I will try to engage with you and try to discuss them as well. That would be nice, I guess. So these sessions where price action is kind of boring, I would have something to talk about with you guys, and yeah, would be more interesting, I guess. So right now, just like expected, prices doing nothing, just still ranging here. Looking at NQ, it was able to take out this low here. So at this point, we have a small SMT here, and in between NQ and ES. Small SMT, but yeah, talking about a little bit about SMTs, I really don't use them as a trading signal or as a model. I just use them to eventually confirm what I'm expecting on price. It's just like a confirmation signal, not a single per se. I would say it's just if I'm expecting a move lower or a move higher, and eventually one of them starts to run, just like ES is doing right now, and if we have a SMT at the lows, yeah, we might have the confirmation that price is running. So I just use these SMTs for the type of confirmation, not as a signal per se. So yeah, because it tends to fail a lot. So that's why I really don't use them as a breaker, or as a or any PD array that that you can eventually name. So I don't know if you do the same or not, but I just use them like that. And usually, the SMT, it should eventually have a time as well. It should present itself right before a macro, which is happening right now, or in the first minutes of the macro. So if the SMT presents itself in the first minutes of the macro or just before the macro, and it's followed by displacement, which is not the case here, then I would eventually take the SMT a little bit serious and eventually say that, okay, it can eventually confirm what I'm expecting on price. Otherwise, it's just another thing to add um, to your um, to your chart. So price not willing to go lower as I would like to to see. We still have regular trading hour session sell side liquidity here to take. Let me take a look at MNQ. Maybe an MNQ already took it, and that's why we are delivering a little bit higher, but I don't think so. Let me just see. Nah. Yeah, we had this one here, but we still have a lot lower, even lower than ES. So if MNQ or if NQ decides to go lower here, I would not like to see this low being attacked, but it can happen. It really can. Yeah, it's this low right here. Well, let's wait. So I don't know if you heard about the government shutdown on the United States, but it seems like tomorrow, I believe, we will probably have a decision about the government shutdown, and the government shutdown might end tomorrow or the day after, and it would be it would impact the markets in the way that CPI and PPI might happen this week. So um, we didn't had NFP in the last Friday, but it might happen that we will have CPI and PPI this week, since the government shutdown will probably be ended tomorrow, or I'm not sure if it will end tomorrow on Wednesday, or if it will probably end on Thursday. But I guess things are more inclined for it ending on a Wednesday, on the next Wednesday, which is tomorrow, than on Thursday. So just keep that in mind, because we might end up taking um, a lot of volatility in the next couple of days because of PPI and CPI. So the market finally decided to move a little bit here. So this is the first presented fair value gap. So if I am bullish, I would like to see this first presented fair value gap to be inverted. So in the first minutes of the stream, I said that I would like to see price coming lower first, taking out pre-market lows, regular trading hour session, sell side liquidity first as well, and then eventually giving us a reversal type of um, setup just to move higher, because these Asia highs are too clean for me. And all this move to the downside is way too clean, honestly. There's a lot of stops placed above these swing highs, and I believe price will eventually attack them. So it's just a matter of time before it will do it. The timing is almost perfect as well. So if we manage to go a little bit lower, taking out regular trading hour session and pre-market lows, that would eventually be the optimal environment for a move higher and a start of a reversal to the upside. So let's see. At this point, NQ already took out pre-market lows, but it kind of stopped. It's just like waiting for ES to go lower as well. So as you can see, price is very trading very slow here. It left pre-market high, pre-market lows. So at this point, there's an SMT, a bigger SMT here in between ES and NQ. Right here. But I'm still interested to see a lower drive on ES. So it was not able, until now, it was not able to close above the first presented fair value gap. And it kind of touched the midpoint of it and is now delivering lower, while NQ is pushing lower as well. So nice push from ES, despite that I would like to see price coming a little bit lower on ES. It kind of pushed above the first presented fair value gap already. Nice push. But it kind of left some liquidity below. Let me just take a look at the regular trading hours. Yeah. But honestly, this might be enough for ES, because this reaction to the upside is quite good. So SMT, just like I told you guys, followed by displacement inside the macro. So this can eventually be the move that we were waiting for. The only problem here is that we didn't take out these pre-market lows and regular trading hour session. Sell side liquidity. That's the only problem that I see here. And with all of this, I forgot to mark the 9:30 open, which is here. So 9:30 open, 8:30 open, and midnight open. So really nice reaction from MES, not giving us any chance to interact with it. So far, clear displacement to the upside. So at this point, we took out all these highs here. We still have London highs to take out. Let me just take a look at YM. Yeah, YM doing a similar job. Seems like yes is the strongest here. Yeah, we are taking out these highs here as well. So 10 a.m. candle is is opening. The hourly, the 4-hour. So let's see if this move will eventually hold. Nice retracement so far. Nice reaction here as well. So price is kind of leaving the midpoint of this fair value gap intact, which is what we like to see whenever price is bullish. Yeah, the stop would be a little bit stretched here. That's why I would like to see price coming a little bit lower. But it might happen that we don't get that retrace here. There we go, retracing lower, first presented fair value gap. Now I want to see how we will close this. Yeah, not falling in love with this, honestly. Too harsh of a retrace. But we might eventually respect the first presented fair value gap. But if you look into the 15-minute on NQ, it's kind of ugly price action. Yeah, price really doing a harsh retrace here. Just let me take a look at the OTE levels. Yeah, this might not work as a breaker. Price may visit this first. So that's why we need to be accountable with our actions, honestly. Um, we knew from the start that this would be a low probability session, and that's why I'm not taking anything here. If this wouldn't be a low probability session, I probably would be buying somewhere around here. But look at this. Look at this displacement. Taking out pre-market lows, regular trading our session, sell side liquidity, all that we were expecting. And that's why I did not, that's why I said that I did not like the setup 800% because this sell side was not taken, and it's taken now. So two things might happen now, or now we start to deliver to the upside, inverting once again the first presented fair value gap, or we will go lower from here, and our bias was wrong. Because if you look into the NWOG, the NWOG is it was rejected at 50% of it. So, and we displaced below the last quadrant of it as well. So this is kind of suspicious whenever we have these um, algorithmic rejections. But let's see. At this point, I only would be bullish if we can eventually trade above the first presented fair value gap once again. So that's why it is important for us to wait and to look for the perfect setup, especially on days like this. And so far, if you look at it, price is doing something that I usually don't like. Look at this. So this is what I call a megaphone pattern, which I usually don't like because it can happen that price will, it's like a seek and destroy pattern where price will do a new high, but it will be followed by a new low. So it can be tricky to participate in something like this. That's why I usually try to stay away from these conditions and not participate. And these type of environments are pretty usual when we have days like this as a bank holiday. Just let me take a second, guys, because my dog is downstairs. I think um he's trying to say something to me. Just let me. I will be back in 2 minutes. Um, so be right back. 2 minutes. Oops. I will be back, guys. So I'm back. It was nothing, but I thought he might go. He might be asking to go outside, but not. So yeah, guys, as I was telling you, this is the type of environment that we don't like to be in. Notice that we took out pre-market highs, pre-market lows, and now price is back to the range. Once again, it's rejecting 930. 930 open. It's rejecting the first. Oops. It's rejecting the first presented fair value gap as of now, because it was not able to close above the 50% of it. So let's see. So as of now, price is not doing what we expected it to do. So when we opened, said that I would like to see price coming down for pre-market lows and regular trading our sell side liquidity, and then eventually get above, retrace inside the first presented fair value gap, and yeah, go towards previous day high, because here we have a lot of liquidity above Asia highs. So that's what I would like to see. But so far, price has not been able to go above the first presented fair value gap and eventually holding the first presented fair value gap. So let me take a look at NQ just to see how far it went. M and Q. Yeah, we are almost taking out these lows here on a regular trading hour session. So that's quite interesting. I was not expecting these lows to be taken out, but it might happen. I guess for ES, for continuation higher, this is quite enough. But we never know, especially on days like this. And yeah, all this pump and all this dump just to end up inside the range. So it seems like price wants to go a little bit lower. Let's see how far it will go. So if this is the manipulation leg, and if I'm wrong, how far can price go, right? Very interesting, because we have perfect confluence with event horizon and the next end wall as well, if we are bearish. But yeah, this was not my bias, so but it seems like it. The pump was the manipulation because it took out all these highs. We moved lower, so this is somehow a breaker to the downside. Here we have these two up close candles, might be our order block. So price is moving outside of the order block, and we possibly will move lower as well. Just like I told you, these rejections here, these algorithmic rejections here are quite suspicious, because if you look into it, price has been rejecting all the quadrants of this end walk on ES. So maybe I'm wrong with my bias, but yeah, at this point, I will let the price just do whatever it wants. But this to me can possibly mean that my bullish bias was probably wrong. And we will trade lower. There we go. Having some follow through, some minor follow through. These are small candles here. It's a two-handle candle, but still. So let me take a look at where we reached inside the opening range. So we opened right here. Interesting as well, because we almost reached for the midpoint, 50% of it. So now let's see if we have one of those days where the megaphone pattern really happens, because we now have a new low, and let's see if price really comes inside the range once again. Because if it will come inside the range, then we have a no trade session. This is a no go session. But so far it's just a retrace inside the order block. So this is the order block. I need to add order blocks here. So save as bearish order block. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So let's see if it will try to go inside the order block. Because if this is really an order block, I would not like to. I would not like it to go inside of it. So far, it's outside of it. Yeah, this behavior here is not what we should expect from price. See, a new low, and price is now trying to get inside the range once again. So we might end up in a seek and destroy type of environment, but that's quite usual on days like this. Holiday banks, low probability days, they usually tend to be a no trading day. That's why I decided to, the first minutes of the stream, to say that I will probably end up taking no trades today. And so far, the market didn't do whatever we was expecting. We were expecting, I mean. Um, I was expecting a bullish bias, and so far I'm more inclined for a continuation lower. Um, but because price is not respecting bullishness, it's just giving us bearishness. So bearish PD arrays are just being respected here. Let's see if we can respect this order block. It kind of tapped into the midpoint of it. So, yeah, guys, is there any topic that you would like to discuss here on stream with me? I mean, you just have to shoot the topic, and I will talk about it if I'm able to, of course. Because sometimes I kind of have to admit that these streams can be quite boring, especially when price action is boring too. Um, so in order to give it some momentum and some energy to the stream, we can bring some topics and eventually talk about them. So if you have anything in mind, yeah, just bring it on and we will talk about it. You just have to write it down in the chat, and I will try to talk about it. And yeah, and give my honest opinion of about it. And yeah, just just sharing some knowledge, sharing some ideas, exchanging some ideas as well, and knowledge. It's I guess it's always important because as traders we don't have anyone to talk about it. These type of things. No, um, it's usually people online or that can eventually understand us. So nice rejection here once again inside the order block. So price came to the top of the order block and to the bottom of the first presented fair value gap, and as well as 930 open. And it kind of rejected it, but let's see. Let's see if this is a rejection or just a retrace lower. But yeah, guys, imagine forcing anything in these types of conditions here. That would be a loss, most probably in any type of direction here. In any type of direction, you would be eventually facing a loss. There's nothing clear on type on price action right now. Yeah, very boring price action here. Just like we expected it to be. Nothing that we can work with. Price now stuck inside the order block, but as you can see, just like ICT says, the bodies tell the story, the wicks do the damage. So the wicks are, the bodies are closing below 50% of the order block. The wicks are just trying to get above it. Seems like we will eventually move a little bit lower. There we go. Yeah, we are moving a little bit lower. First presented fair value gap got respected. We will probably take out this low here. We are losing 830 open as well. There we go. Moving lower. Price just needed to go inside the order block to retest it. And it's moving lower now. But look how thick price action is. I mean, it's moving just like this. And this range, it's about to 10 handles, so it's, in order to profit from this, you might end up going inside of a 15 second time frame. And even like that, as you can see, price quickly retraces back. So this is really textbook price action for a low probability session and for a bank holiday session. So low volume, low volatility, not much of a defined move. So this is all the price action that we were expecting. It's a bank holiday price action. So there's nothing new here. If you are a new trader, you have to know about these types of environments and have to try to stay away from them, because otherwise you will get caught inside of this. And this is quite frustrating to trade, because it will take a lot of mental capital. As you can see, prices, it took 30 minutes just to make a new, even if you shorted here, it took almost 30 minutes just to not to make a new low, but to have some follow through. So 30 minutes is a lot for somebody that's trying to trade a 1 minute chart. But yeah, NQ seems to be the weakest here. Let me just take a look at YM just to see how it's behaving. Yeah, YM, it's in his own world. It kind of pushed to the upside here. Yeah, I really don't trade YM at all. I think it has a special character and a unique character. As you can see, it's not even close to what NQ and ES is doing. So that's why I don't trade it at all. Price once again reaching for that order block. And in normal conditions, this could be somehow a continuation to the downside, since we have a standard deviation projection here, minus 2.5. This could eventually be an entry in normal market conditions, and this is not a normal market condition towards event horizon here, because at this point I think we will lose this end walk. We rejected 50% of it. We are rejecting 25% of it. So every quadrant is being rejected. So yeah, my bullish idea was kind of invalidated so far. Yeah, and it seems to me that NQ will really hit that sell side liquidity that I was talking about in the first minutes of the stream, and that I thought that we would eventually not touch. I guess NQ is not the strongest after all. So once again, price coming towards the order block here. but really no follow through. This has been quite a boring session, honestly. But yeah, we were expecting somehow a boring session. And that's why the economic calendar is very important as a trader, because if you're not able to recognize these days as low probability days, then you will probably face a hard time trading this, and you will end up losing without any necessity of it. You don't have to lose in these types of conditions. You just have to expect low probability sessions on days like this, and yeah, act accordingly. And acting accordingly is not engaging at all in these types of conditions, because if you try to, you will end up hurt yourself. See. So 1050 macro is almost there. Notice that price was not able to deliver below minus 0.5 standard deviation here. So yeah, guys, for those who are watching, are you traders as well? Do you trade futures? Do you trade, I don't know, commodities? Do you trade forex? Do you trade crypto? Whatever. What do you trade? What do you do for a living? Uh, yeah, just if you guys are there, just try to say anything in the stream. Just type it in chat, and I will interact with it. If you have any questions, I might answer them as well. You can ask me wherever you want. I'm an open book, honestly. And for those who don't know me yet, and for those who don't follow me, or for those who haven't been following me, yeah, my name is Miguel. Um, I'm a full-time trader right now, or trying to be a full-time trader. As you can see, I'm trying to pass these evals. And yeah, it's been a challenge for the last couple of weeks and months, I guess. It's not an easy journey, honestly. Um, it has not been an easy journey, and yeah, for those who don't know me, I used to be a nurse. I have a nursing degree, and yeah, I left it to be a trader, because I believe that COVID, that that virus helped me realizing that nursing wasn't the best idea for a lifetime career. So yeah, at some point I had to chase anything else and try to figure out what I really wanted to do with my life, and realize that trading might be the best solution. And here we are. Here we are trying to do this as a full-time job, and try to reach profitability So yeah, still no development here. Let's see if the macro will help somehow. At this point, I'm still expecting a move lower. I'm not anymore interested in price coming to the upside unless it takes out these lows and eventually moves to the upside. But honestly, at this point, I would like to see lower since we have a clear manipulation leg to the upside, the one that I marked there. But as you can see, we are ranging for a while now, just punishing everybody who was trying to do anything. Because this is meant to be a no trading day, honestly. This is meant to be a you can still interact with the market, but just as a tape reader, not as an active trader trying to chase trades here. As you can see, price has been working out this order block that we marked here. On a first retrace, it went to the top of it. On a second retrace, it went to the midpoint of it. Both got rejected, and we are now trading outside of it already and probably reaching for the next move to the downside that will probably happen inside the macro. Reach probably for the next uh, quadrant of, not the quadrant, the bottom of the unwalk. But yeah, price is very slow today. So if you expect it to trade, if you have opened your charts with the intention to trade this price action, you probably end up hurt yourself. So yeah, normal conditions, I would expect a move lower from here. So let's see if the macro will help somehow the market to move to its next target, which will be around this area. Notice that we are trying to get inside this 1 hour fair value gap as well. It's taking a lot of time here. So I believe we will do something like this, reaching for -1 standard deviation. But yeah, no follow through so far. So yeah, guys, for those who are watching, just tell me, guys, what do you do if you are interested in trading? If you guys trade at all, yeah, just share some knowledge with me, something about your life as well. That way, I will be able to interact with you guys as well. Tell me where you're from. For those who don't know, I'm from Portugal. So yeah, nothing, guys. Especially on ES, NQS is delivering somehow. It's delivering a little bit better, not in a perfect way, but somehow it's delivering a little bit better. But yeah, it's an ugly market because we are since it's a futures market and it's quite dependent on the United States holidays, and since it's the Veterans Day on the United States, uh, yeah, the stock market is open, the bond market is closed, and the future markets and other markets are still open. But as you can see, there is no follow through in the market. There is no volatility. There is nothing. There's nothing that's happening right now. So um, it's somehow expected for price to behave like that. And we talked about it in the first minutes of the session. So we came with the idea that this would be only a tape read session, not a tradable session. Some point, price started to deliver the way I was expecting it to deliver. Somehow, not 100%, but as soon as I saw that displacement lower, I knew that this would not be a tradable session for me because first of all, this is a low probability session, and second, price was doing what I wasn't expecting it to do. So two factors that invite us to not get in touch with it. Yeah, it seems like NQ is delivering lower. It's a bit I wouldn't say it's cleaner, but it's a bit heavier than ES. But the way it's delivering, it's not what we want to see, honestly. See, it kind of delivered a little bit, but not in a way that we want to see price action to deliver. Oops. So yeah, guys, very boring session here. I really apologize for it, but we were kind of expecting this to happen. So yeah, guys, tell me where you guys from. Yeah, still managing to go and retest the order block at the bottom of it. And let's see if we will have the follow through now, or because so far 1050 macro has been an empty macro as well. But yeah, for those who are not used to trade this type of environment, uh, and for those who are starting, I really would not advise you to go for something like a day like this and try to force something on a day like this. Because as you can see, there's no momentum, no volume, nothing. So it's a typical holiday bank price action type of day where nothing happens, where you end up being probably wrong, and where it's kind of hard to interact with anything, honestly. So guys, I believe I will stay. I mean, I will stay in the stream for a couple more minutes, but there's nothing that we can do here, so I may end up closing it in a couple of minutes. Yeah, but in the meantime, if you're there, yeah, just talk to me and say something, ask something. Don't be shy. Just say hello and try to interact with me, because I'm willing to answer any of your questions. So don't be shy and ask whatever you want. I will try to answer in the best way. Oh well, such a boring day, such a boring price action. But yeah, I guess it's a typical bank holiday day. So there's nothing we can do here unless despite observing it and yeah, just watching it go, read price action, try to learn something with it and stay disciplined. I think that's the that's the main task for today's action is to work your discipline, because not every day is a tradable day. And if you think that every day is a tradable day, uh, you might be you might be wrong, buddy. You really might be wrong. Not every day is a tradable day. And this is the unless you go for those micro time frames, the 15-second, the 5-second chart, because this to me is a non-tradable day. There is no position here that could eventually make you profit, unless you ended up opening something blindly and yeah, and hope for the best, because otherwise I don't believe there's something here that could eventually put you in profit. Well, it seems like price moved from macro to macro, from top to bottom. This was a 20 handle move. So let me just take this out from here. And now we are possibly doing what I was expecting it to do. So if we manage to go above the first presented fair value gap, we might end up attacking London highs and eventually Asia highs as well. But yeah, I need to see some willingness for price to go above the first presented fair value gap. Otherwise, we will still be ranging. But yeah, this was a very boring session so far, which is quite typical for a bank holiday. Couldn't be we couldn't expect more than this, honestly. This is normal price action for a bank holiday. So if you really are an experienced trader, I really advise you not to interact with days like this, because at some point you will expect to trade. And yeah, usually this can eventually be traded, but on very, very small time frames. Not even on a 1 minute time frame, unless you take very low hanging fruits. But yeah, guys, I guess I will end the stream. I will end the stream here. Once again, it was a pleasure to be with you guys here. It was really I mean, it's always a pleasure to be here with you guys, despite not having much people interacting today. I guess they had better things to do. So, despite of it, it still is. It still was a nice tape reading session. Honestly, we didn't do anything, but it still is, because that's the way that's how we kind of train our discipline, and that's how we stay disciplined for the next couple of sessions. So the trick here on a holiday bank like this is not expecting price action to deliver. It's move. It's a game of moving our expectations to the lowest, and eventually waiting for it to not deliver. So that's the best way to face a day like this. And yeah, it really happened to be a day that didn't deliver anything, especially on ES, as you can see here. But yeah, I guess we were expecting this, so we can't complain, honestly. So yeah, guys, thank you very much. If you have any questions or anything like that, just leave it in the comments. I will for sure answer them. And yeah, have a nice day. We will see you tomorrow at the same time as usual, the same hour, 9:20 New York time. I will be opening my stream for you guys, and yeah, see you there, and stay safe. Don't try to force anything today, because you might end up hurt. So have a nice day, guys. Thank you very much, and see you tomorrow. Thank you.